everyone, my name is Kirsty the Worsty and welcome to my channel. Alright guys, so I have to say I'm a little late to the party here. I just started listening to the musical Hamilton a couple weeks ago, so I'm a huge musical fanatic. Huge, right? So Phantom of the Opera, Rent, Wicked, all the things. I'm totally obsessed, but I was so late to the Hamilton train. I have no idea why I didn't listen to it earlier. I think maybe it was because it was super popular and I just didn't want to like buy into the hype. But I listened to it the other day and I just cannot stop listening to it, to the point where I can't even listen to audiobooks anymore because I just don't want to spend my time doing that. I just want to listen to all of the Hamilton. So naturally I wanted to combine the two worlds. I wanted to find like a book tag or some sort of thing to like marry the book world and the Hamilton world. So I did a search for it and it is a thing. Hamilton book tag is a thing and I'm so super excited to do it. There's gonna be some awkward singing, there's gonna be some weird hand motion, so just get ready for it. Yeah, so Maureen Keevy did this over on her channel. I'll link her original video down below. But other than that, let's hit it.
No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened.
Alright, so the first question is a book whose world you would want to put yourself in. So for this, I'm going to choose Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I am a super huge fanatic about this book. Those of you who don't know, it's going to become a movie in either late 2017 or early 2018. I can't remember, and Steven Spielberg is directing it. Super exciting. But basically there's a really cool virtual world in this called the Oasis where people kind of put these VR glasses on. They have like these suits they can put on and they're basically like immersed in this video game world, and it is just super cool. There's so many different things you can do in it. You can shop there, you can fight demons, you can do literally everything, and it just seems super cool and I would love to get in on that world. Alright, next question is an underrated female character. So for this, I'm gonna go with Heather from Panic. So I picked Heather because I feel like she is just a really good example of a strong, brave teenage heroine who really takes her future into her own hands, her destiny in her own hands, and she knows when she needs to push forward, she knows when she needs to pull back, and I thought she was just a really good example of someone who has a good head on her shoulders. And a lot of times I feel like, especially recently, I feel like I've read a lot of YA where the main female character can come off as like whiny and there's some girl hate and it's just hard to get into that person's head. But with Heather, I felt like she was just a normal, everyday person who just had a lot of positive character traits, so I really like that, and I feel like she'd just be a good one for this, and I wish people talked about this book and these characters more because I love it.
Hey, I'm just like my country, I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot.
Not stop at anything until they get what they want and what they need in life. So for this, I'm going to choose Delilah Bard from the A Darker Shade of Magic series. Oh my gosh, so anyone who has read this trilogy knows that Delilah Bard, the cross-dressing, pickpocketing pirate wannabe, will literally not let anything stand in her way of what she wants, and it's just so inspiring and it's amazing, and I just love Lila. I love her personality, and I love that about her. Like, that quality like made Lila for me. It didn't matter if she was in love. That wasn't gonna stop her from doing what she wanted to do. It didn't matter if she was in a different world. It didn't matter if she had nothing. Like, she made it work, and she's just scrappy and strong and just so amazing. I love Lila to death, and she's just a perfect representation of that.
I did exactly as you said, Pop. I held my head up high. I know, you did everything just right.
Alright guys, the next question's a little spoilery, so if you haven't read The Serpent King by Jeff Zentner, I would fast forward until you see me hold the next book up, okay? I don't want you to be spoiled. So the question for this is a character that you wish hadn't died. So, the Serpent King, obviously. I'm gonna go with the Serpent King on this. Again, if you haven't read it, spoilers. Travis dies in The Serpent King and absolutely destroyed me and tore me into a million different pieces. I was sitting on my couch listening to the audiobook and just burst into these terrible, terrible tears forever. I just was very, very, very sad. He was such a delightful burst of sunshine, and now he's gone, and it just breaks my heart. So.
You remember you belong to me. You'll be back, time will tell.
So for this, it was kind of hard because I love villains. Villains are like my favorite parts of books because I feel like they can just be so deep and they're calculating, and when it's done right, they're a really round, interesting character, just as much as the hero or the heroine. So I kind of struggled with this, but I eventually decided that I needed to go with Aiden from the Illuminae series. Aiden is just kind of a disgruntled AI. He thinks he knows what's best. He goes off book. He ends up destroying worlds, killing people. He's not a good person, but he kind of has good intentions, I guess. But he's just so sassy, so funny. He doesn't understand like humanistic characteristics, so he's constantly like correcting people, being super sarcastic and snarky, and he is super, super sassy, so perfect.
Never gonna be president now. Never gonna be president now. Never gonna be president now.
Confessions of a Murder Subject by James Patterson and Maxi Petra? Yeah, I read this a couple years ago. I actually read this in a weird way. It was on sale on iTunes, so I picked it up and I didn't realize I was reading the second book. So then I read the second book, which is The Private School Murders, then read the first book, and then read the third, and I haven't read the fourth yet. But the first one's what I'm really going to be talking about. This book is all about these two pharmaceutical giants who own this huge corporation. They die, and their children are the suspects of the murder. So the way the parents die and how they die and all about that is a huge twist at the end of this book, and it was just like shocked me, and it was a really, really solid twist. I would definitely recommend this series if you haven't picked it up already.
I practice the law, practically perfected it. I've seen injustice in the world and I've corrected it.
Next is a series that you marathoned. Honestly, I don't really marathon a lot of series because I prefer mostly standalones, but something that I know that I did marathon when it came out was Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. So I started reading these when the 8th book had just come out. So I started from the beginning and marathoned all the way up to 8, and then I just followed it every time a book came out. I like bought it the same day. But this is a series that I followed super closely and marathoned as much as I could. Just amazing. And I love the Netflix series too, so just for the record.
I don't know what you mean, you forget yourself.
You're like me, I'm never satisfied.
Is that right?
I've never been satisfied.
It's a book with multiple POVs, like your favorite book with multiple POVs. There's a lot of these because I really do enjoy having multiple perspectives on things. The one I chose was kind of broke the mold on that a little bit, and that is Every Heart a Doorway. So this doesn't specifically have, chapter headings that say Nancy and Sumi and all the characters' names, but it really does jump from character to character's perspective, so I included it in this, especially because I just read it at the end of April, and it was so amazing. This book just totally destroyed the reading slump I was in and made me just want to read and devour everything. And it was just so good and so solid, and the way that it was put together and the narrative was really good, so I wanted to give it a shout out on this.
Who lives, who dies, who tells your story?
Every other founding father story gets told. Every other founding father gets to grow old.
And when you're gone, who remembers your name?
This one is a book that will always be remembered, and for that I'm gonna go with The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Sorry, it's a little bright at the top there. Basically, I always thought that this book was revolutionary and life-changing, and I always thought more people should read it. I read it at the tail end of high school. I wanted to reread it before the Hulu series came out, but I didn't get around to it. I will definitely do that in the future. The series is just so good, guys, so if you're not in the mood for picking this up, I would tune into that because it is scary. That show in this book is scarier than a horror movie because it's so real and so relevant and politically charged, and I definitely think that people are going to be talking about this a lot more, especially because of the new hype because of the TV show. So yeah, this is definitely a good one. So scary. terrifying. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I had a blast filming this video. Feel free to follow me on all the social medias. I have that down in the description box below. If you like Hamilton or any of these books, please let me know below. I would love to chat with you about them. No one in my life likes Hamilton, so it would be cool if you guys liked it to comment down below. I'd love to chat with you. Alright guys, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!
Philip, when you smile, I am undone. My son, look at my son.